all good, and knoweth all things. He is all good and knoweth all things. Okay, and what good? What can God gain by your punishment? Exactly. What will God get if He punishes me? What would Allah get if He punishes me? What profit would Allah gain from punishing me? Here it is. Yes, so you will have other quotations which we've quoted before, which is telling us that the book is telling us that Allah asks the Muslims to do what? To construct or take an evil act against their enemy, against the so many others. And there are other places where Allah Himself also has told the people that He will punish you if you do not follow. Punishment will come upon you, and hell will be your place. I mean, hell is a place of punishment. Even if you are not talking about a destination or a certain place, the mental mind in hell is another punishment. And what will God gain in punishing? So if God says in some place that the end of your life is hell, that is where He will send you to. And then in some place He's saying to you that what will God gain in your punishment, in punishing you? Then we are supposed to think about these things. And He also tells you that God is all merciful and forgiving. And so we have tests and certain things that makes us sort of begin to doubt and think through and say, no, the all-wise God would not do that. You understand? The all-wise God, His wisdom is beyond. He wouldn't have to do that. He created us, and that does not come into application. If the book tells us that He created us, then the book should not tell us that He is the one who is also going to put us into suffering. So it's very, very, very contradictory, and one has to be very careful when it comes to the book and whatever decisions we think of, sort of given to these books that we're reading. It has turned our life to something sour, something that we never want or should have wished ended up in anyway, but that has been the situation. If we go on from there to, let's say, we go on to sort of find out God knowing all things. In let's say, we've already quoted from Surah 4, verse 135. He says, stand up firmly. No, it starts with, O ye who believe, stand out firmly for justice as witnesses to God, even as against yourselves or your parents, or ye kin, and whether it be against rich or poor, for God can best protect both. Follow not the lust of your hearts, lest ye swerve, and if ye distort justice or decline to do justice, verily God is well acquainted with all that ye do. God is well acquainted with all that you do. He knows all that you do. And as I see, he says, it is revealed again that in Surah 134, if anyone desires, Surah 4, verse 134, if anyone desires, if anyone desires a reward in life, in God's gift is the reward both of this life and of the hereafter. For God is he that heareth and seeth all things. God is the one who heareth and see all things. I mean, we can go on and find so many of the statement telling us God is well acquainted. If you go on to Surah 128, Surah 128, also Surah 130, 130. It also gives you from there. Also, God is well acquainted with all that ye do. Anything that you do. If you go on to Surah 127, that's the same chapter of 4. It tells you again, God is well acquainted. Therefore, so it is clear here the knowing and omniscience of Allah. Allah is very omniscient, and you have to follow through to sort of accept him as he is. You cannot see Allah in a different way as you see Jehovah. Followers of Christians do not have to see Jehovah in any other way than omniscient, omnipotent, and all that. So it's a good sort of strong basis, sort of describing the almighty source of God. As I said, all the religion culture is all attempt of reaching out, a man's attempt to reach out to what an omnipotent God, or let's say an omniscient God, a peaceful and a loving God, like a good father, or someone we see as the source of life. It's looking at the richness of life. If there isn't any negativities, you can see the value of life so much that whoever gave it to you, you sort of appreciate the fact and sort of characterize him as a good person, because it is good. Life is something which is preciously good. It's only the negativities that makes life so unpleasant. But in the more a more determined way of looking or focus on life itself, you can really honestly see life as a very good life. Life can be a very good thing. Life is a very good thing. And if anyone has given life to you, is appreciative of it. It's good to be appreciative of it. It is good to sort of qualify that person as being really dynamic and good. So that classification that we give to the source of life, these are some of the reasons why I think if I'm wrong and you're thinking different, okay, it's entirely up to you, And we see it here as it's written here in these books of, the text is very much strong, confirming the ways of which God is good and kind and all that. Let us go through some of the tests of this moment to sort of bring out why these statements are made, and there are still doubts over there. I think that statements are very contradicting. If you look at Surah 156, it says that Surah 156. Surah 151, sorry. It says, they are in truth, equally unbelievers. They are in truth, equally unbelievers. And we have prepared for unbelievers a humiliating punishment. This is a punishment that has been prepared for what? Unbelievers. What does God gain from punishment in the first place? And if Allah does not gain anything from punishment, why would he punish unbelievers? Why would he do it? What is he going to gain by punishing them? You see what I just pointed out to you. Now, some people or some philosophers will justify it. Effort is being put in place to make the book solid, to make the book authentic, to make the book the word of what? Allah. That is what man is doing. That is what I'm saying, that allow Allah to be Allah.